Hello, my name is Julia and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first YouTube video where I am sharing my story. I have been focusing recently on making more adventure travel videos of footage that I have from the last few years of trips that I've done, which has been awesome, by the way. It's been so fun to create these memories and actually turn my footage into something useful. Also learn video editing skills and all of that. But all along, I've also really wanted to start a channel where I share my story and my outlook on the world. There's a lot of things that get in the way of me doing that. For example, what am I going to say? What is my message? How am I going to pay for lighting, microphones, and backdrops? These questions have gotten my mind, prevented me from taking action over the last couple of years. I have become really inspired to just finally do it because of the events of the last couple of days in the US. With abortion rights under attack, the conservative voice in the world seems to be a lot louder than the liberal or leftist one. If we want to change that, we need to speak up. We need to speak up for ourselves. For me, that just meant it's time for me to share my story. I'm so grateful for all the other people on the internet who are vulnerable enough to share the details of their lives and their opinions and show their faces and share who they are. There's a growing queer and trans, anti-racist, different abilities community growing online, and that is so important. But out in the world, the conservatives are still winning, and they're still attacking our rights day after day. So that's why I've decided to share my story, to offer a perspective on the world that is unique, to encourage and inspire other people who may identify or see the world in a similar way to what I do. I am an American living in the Netherlands. I am 33 years old. I identify as non-binary and a lesbian. I came out of the closet in 2009, 13 years ago. It was rocky from the start, but it's something that I love so deeply about myself. It's something that has connected me to so many other beautiful people in the world. I am from Florida. I come from a very conservative community, and I grew up religious. I was very Christian at various points in my life. I did not know that I was gay from a young age. I certainly was a tomboy from a young age, but I didn't have the tools or the role models to be able to come to the conclusions that I did later in life. I went through that journey of exploration and evolution when I was in college, when I was deeply involved with a religious community, and it was a really wild and difficult experience. I experienced excommunication, painful discrimination, and not only from my direct community, but from many communities over the coming years as I continued to try and stay in my faith, which ultimately didn't work. So back when I was coming out, I guess YouTube was around, but there certainly weren't people posting about their top surgeries. And boy, am I glad they are now. Since I came out as a lesbian, come out as non-binary, and I have been on a waiting list to get top surgery for the last 2 years. It's brutal. Even in a country with good socialized healthcare like the Netherlands, I still struggle to find good gender-affirming care here. Since I haven't been able to access doctors and professional information in that time period, I have relied so much on the internet and people who are vulnerable and willing to share their stories of what they're going through, especially trans people who have been going through top surgeries. Bless you all. Seriously, y'all are a special kind of people for being willing to bare your soul and your chest and your pain and your scars to the internet. There's some real sharks out there. You all have provided me with so much comfort and so much helpful information over the last few years so that I've been able to become more comfortable with my decision and pick the routes that I want to take. Like I said, the conservative voice just seems to be louder than ours. There's more of them. So I think that we need to speak out more often. I do have a message. Diversity makes the world beautiful. I think we need to learn to celebrate each other and learn from each other. The last few years, we've seen our culture become more and more focused on identities and labels, which I support. I'm all for the labels. They're important for me and many other people. But right now, it looks like these labels are surrounded by walls and borders that keep us apart from each other. that keep us different, instead of creating healthy and safe exchange between groups, because humanity is diverse. There are so many different kinds of expression on this planet, and we can learn so much from each other as long as we stay open and are kind and respectful. I think it's best to just go to the source, to learn about trans people from trans people. Earlier today, I searched non-binary on YouTube. The fifth video that showed up for me was a cis person talking about and discrediting non-binary identities. Why is that person an authority on my identity? Because there's not enough authorities from our own identity to drown out those voices. So I think it's important that we share our stories so that people can see the humanity in us and connect with us and understand that we're all just people who want to live a pretty normal life where we are happy and healthy and fed and loved. To all the lesbians, baby gays, femmes, tomboys, butches, envies, trans angels, no matter where you are on your path, you are valid, you are worthy, and you are enough. And don't let your mom, the internet, or Jesus convince you otherwise. Love you all. Until next time.